What's up, guys? It's Sean Korea with Team Duty Destined here, bring to you another video. This time around, it's going to be a deck profile video with my buddy Michelangelo. He is the best bird player I've ever seen in my life. This man has been kicking ass, topping tournaments, and he just recently won a Evo Cup, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He just recently won an Evo Cup playing birds, so he's here to showcase off his list. Michelangelo, you want to go ahead and get us started with the eggs?
All right, you got it. So first off, we've got four Yokomon.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, only deck you need, only egg you need,
Mm-hmm.
and it's on deletion. You go ahead and return a red avian. Uh, Yada yada yada. It's a long text for telling you it's not a sea animal.
Mm-hmm.
From your trash to your hand. It has to be resolved, even though sometimes you might not want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's a mandatory effect. Um, but the egg alone gets a lot of your combos online. So it lets your rookies coming out of racing, swinging, trigger a bunch of your combos,
Mm-hmm.
and which we'll talk about that more.
Okay, awesome.
uh, the first one is Biomon. There's the new Biomon DSR. Start of main, you can trash one avian Digimon or beast and reveal four cards and grab one red card.
Mm-hmm.
Could be anything, could be an option, could be a tamer, could be a Digimon. Um, then on its inheritable, when security is checked, in the same way that the draw one, form one, whenever a security is revealed, draw one. Whenever a security is checked, gain a memory. There is for the Biomons. Wow, there we go. There's your searcher, reveals three. Well, both of them are searchers, but this one on play reveals three, grabs a red Digimon with vaccine
Mm-hmm.
and a tamer. Pretty much searches a good majority of your deck. There's only two cards in there that it won't search, and three of the Christie BOs.
Mm-hmm.
This BO, when it's played by an effect, if you have a BO Christie Daemon in play, you can bounce that Christie Daemon to your hand to then port this Biomon into a Garudamon.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this one lets a lot of your combos happen early on and later on. It's an easy way to get a free draw. And then on deletion, it also drops, which a lot of my opening hands, I really just want to see two Biomons, preferably with two of these,
Mm-hmm.
just because Digivolving, playing a Biomon, next turn, you're swinging, putting your opponent at 3 security, which is where you want to have your opponent at. A lot of this, the game plan is your opponent at 3 security? Great. A lot of your combos are going to work.
And then
If you're,
you can just OTK win the game from there.
yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Or start playing a bunch of whatever it is you need to play to answer the board,
I
which is
gotcha.
really nice. So that's it on the rookies. The level fours, I'm only playing 7. 3 of the Birdramons that have blocker on deletion play a tamer. 2 of the new Birdramon that when Digivolving, you have to return a red Digimon from your trash to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And the inheritables, the same inheritable as the new Biomon. When a card is revealed from your opponents, gain a memory. And 2 Saber Dramons. That's all you need for level 4s. You don't need a whole lot of level 4s. I was thinking about cutting some of these level 4s, maybe one more for another option.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, this is working out. So the level 5s, we have 1 blocker Garuda on deletion, play a tamer. 2 on play when Digivolving Garudamons that play a level 3 or 3 cost tamer or less. And then on deletion, delete a 6K. And then 3 of the Garudamon Ace. Garudamon Ace is MVP. This and Garudamon X antibody, I think, are definitely the MVPs of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Garudamon X is the new card it got, so it really brought it online. It's on play, and when Digivolving, returns a red Digimon from your trash to your hand, which lets you trigger all your effects. Then if Garudamon or an X-Antibody is underneath it, it gets to delete something equal or less DP. So it's another way of clearing the board if it's something 8K or less, or deleting a floodgate that you need to get rid of. And then your turn, when a card is returned from your trash to your hand, it then grants a Digimon Rush. So you can trigger that after you've resolved a bunch of effects. Whenever we get to the Sora, we'll talk about it. The Garudamon Ace plays a 4-cost Tamer or less, deletes a blocker, lets you get rid of those blockers that don't have protection, so that you can continue swinging. It comes up against Mirage sometimes. Whenever they go into the Mirage that grants blocker, well, blocker is a death sentence in against birds. You go, okay.
Even against the level 4s in Magna.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like that comes up for sure.
Oh, big time. On the level 6, I play 3 Phoenixmons, 4 security, trash top card of security. If it's 3 or less, 4 or more, trash top card, 3 or less, deletes lowest DP. Phoenixmon X, when Digivolving Blitz, Digivolves on top of a Phoenixmon for 2. Digivolves over a level 4 or level 5 for 5, so it's pretty costly. But when Digivolving Blitz, your turn, if it has Phoenixmon or X-Antibody, it's end of attack to all of the Digimon's on deletion effects. And then on deletion, it has play a 11k DP or less bird, so it can pretty much play just about anything except for 5 cards in the deck. And then delete a Digimon that's equal or lesser than the Digimon played by the effect. So it can play out this, delete something 11k, and then this is, say that they're at 3 security, deletes the lowest DP. So it has a way of clearing board, it has a way of threatening, it has a way of thrashing security. If this is in the inheritables, you're checking security, and then end of attack, you're gonna go ahead and trash it too. So it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I feel like that's just like such an annoying stack to deal with, because like no matter what, it's like you have to answer it, and then if you answer it, it's gonna just pop out a bunch of stuff and like trash security. But then even then you can be proactive and just swing. And then if Protoform is under it, oh my god, that's even more cracked.
Pretty much.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Because then you're reducing the Digivolution cost.
Yeah.
You can go with Protoform just on top of the Phoenix, it's 1. So it's pretty nice. These are the then I have a Sushaomon. This comes up a lot.
Really?
Against wide board, it comes up a lot. It lets me be cheeky. Very, very cheeky, especially say that I still have turn after I've done a giant play with a Phoenix X and I've put out a Garudamon. And then I go, okay, you know what would be really cool after I resolved all of my on deletion effects and trash your security and whatnot? Let me just delete my own stack and everything else on your board, gain the memory from it, and then trigger all the on deletions again.
Seems nice for the board clear effect, though.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's more, hey, you've already triggered all of your on deletion effects. Let me trigger them again.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you have to. I live in a blue local. There's a lot of blue players and a lot of Imperial Dramons. So you have to go with Valk.
Yeah, that card's pretty cracked.
Everyone's playing it. Everyone except for Sylphimon is playing it.
Yeah.
It's a opponent's turn. Minus fate, or your one Digivolving, minus 5k to their entire board. Lets you also answer white boards. Lets you answer Imperial Dramon if they don't respect it. And then you get to delete something 8k or less. So it's pretty threatening. And then on your turn, you get security attack +1. The nice thing about Valk is even if it ends up in the trash after you used it, you can bring it back with Garudamon X, and then keep threatening with that. Because Garudamon X is any red card, so
it's just
this can come back.
Okay, wow,
yeah,
that's nice.
And then you can always search it with Biyomon, because Biyomon is any red card.
Oh, any red card. Okay.
So even though it's a tech, it's still searchable in the deck, or reusable in the deck. So you don't need more than one. It's a nice, neat little tech.
Yeah, I felt like when I saw you playing it once, I always had to respect it no matter what. So even if playing that one, it's just like, oh damn, you just gotta respect it.
And the deck it puts out level 5s on the board very easily. So it's a nice threat. It's amazing Tamer, Sora. This is your big combo maker. It's a memory setter. Then all turns, when a red Digimon card is returned from your trash to your hand, you can return Sora to hand to then play a Digimon by effect. The requirements for Sora, it says you can play up to 13k DP from hand, or less red Digimon, and it has to have all the avian properties. And then for each of your opponent's security cards, remove 2k from the effect that this Digimon or this Tamer can play. So basically, if you're at 5 security, place 3k. If you're at 4 security, place 5k. If you're at 3 security, you can play 7k, which you can play any of your level 5s at that point.
Yeah.
And then from there on, it's just 8. You go to 9. So if you're at 2, you can play the Garuda Exus. And at 1, hopefully by then you're killing the game and you're not playing your Phoenixmons. But you can.
If it gets down to it.
If it gets down to it, if you need to.
Yeah.
But that's Sora.
That's pretty good though. Dang, I didn't realize that it ramps up like that.
Yeah, so literally the entire game plan, get your opponent to 3 security. Okay, now we can do a bunch of fun combos. Then 3 Christies. Christie grants a Digimon on play. On deletion, play a Biyomon. And then start of your main phase, if you have an avian on play, you can gain a memory.
Yeah,
it's your way of getting memory.
So annoying to deal with.
It is, especially because say that you're there. If I'm playing against a deck that likes to delete, I will end my turn with a Digimon up there, and I'll just be like, give it on deletion, play a Biyomon, and you can delete me. Go ahead. I'm gonna play out something right after.
Right.
So it just lets you be sticky. It lets you be a Numemon.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then 1 Akiho. The Akiho, it's nice. I wasn't running her for a while, and then I found myself, man, all of these Garudamon X's are always giving me rush, so I don't really need the Akiho. But there have been times where Akiho help get that last rush if you need to. And it helps you search. Being able to search for, grab a red vaccine. So it can't grab the Valk, and it can't grab the Sushaumon, but it can grab everything else, including Saberdramon, because Saberdramon is a vaccine, even though it doesn't look like it. So it's nice. The card that I'm thinking about getting rid of a level 4/4 is Wings of Love. Only running 2. I'm thinking about running 3. It's a decision that I have to think about.
I feel like I see you play that all the time. Oh my gosh. I thought for sure you were running that at 3. That's crazy. Is that too?
Yeah. It's pretty cracked.
Yeah.
It can do some crazy stuff on a clear board. Oh my God. I'll show you a combo in a little bit, but this card alone can, for 2 memory, if you have the right cards in hand, give you 3 Digimons with Rush.
Yeah.
Just from that effect.
I know, I've experienced it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Insecurity, it plays a Biomon and then adds to hand.
Hmm.
So it's playing a Biomon by effect. Hey, you can Christie. Do the Christie combo if you have a Christie in play.
Hmm.
And morph into a Garudamon. And then main, you play a level 4 or less red Tamer. And then if Sora Takenuchi is in play, you can return a red Digimon card from your trash to your hand, which then triggers Sora that you just played, and you pop off. Two offense training,
Hmm.
um, two protoforms, and because you need to always have a kill spell, Trident Guy.
Yep, trying guy is so good, especially
Yeah.
against bugs.
Yep. That's the main reason.
Yeah.
I played against there's a bug player in my locals. There's two of them. One that is really consistent, and I ended up on the other side of him a couple times that I was just like, okay, we need a kill spell. We need a way to get rid of the tyrant. Otherwise, there really is no way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And I
definitely.
would say that tyrant is probably one of the hardest matchups along with Imperial, um, just because it stays on the board and you don't really have a way to get rid of it except for this option, and um, it just redirects everything, which you're trying to rush, and he's just like, no, you have 3 redirects,
Mm-hmm.
so you have to just try and rush as much as possible.
Yeah, I feel
But
like it's definitely good for those niche scenarios and specific matchups. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into some bread and butter combos. I was asking just to showcase the power of the deck, just because sometimes you can pull off some crazy things with the birds deck, and I just wanted Michelangelo to show it off.
yeah, so this is actually been it came up in one of my matches against a Mirage player.
Mm-hmm.
They had just cleared my entire board, and they hit something in security, and I had a pretty light hand against Mirage. I tried to keep myself pretty light.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Mirage? No, it wasn't Mirage. It was Imperial.
Mm-hmm.
So none of that memory stuff happened. But I did something like play Wings of Love for 2,
Mm-hmm.
play out a Sora, then return, and doesn't matter what's in trash. I can put all of my Garuda X's in trash. Doesn't matter.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I'll return the Garuda X, and I just need to have these two in hand, and then
Mm-hmm.
the rest can be in trash.
So that's
Um,
Garuda Ace and Garuda X.
yeah, Garuda Ace and Garuda.
Mm-hmm.
Good, Garuda X. So that's done. So now that you've resolved this, you've triggered both of them for that. So my first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to return Sora to play Garudamon Ace. Garudamon Ace then plays the Sora. Then this is already pending. So we're going to return this. And they were at 2 security, so I could play the Garudamon X-Antibody. So then I play the Garudamon X-Antibody. Garudamon X-Antibody then returns this Garudamon Ace, triggers Sora, and then plays the Garudamon Ace. Then Garudamon Ace will return a Garudamon Ace back to my hand, and then
You mean Garudamon
now you
X,
start
Garudamon X?
Garudamon X, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, because both of these saw a card returned, they can grant Rush. So I'll just say this will grant itself Rush, this will grant itself Rush.
Mm-hmm.
So now they both have Rush, and then you just Digivolve for 0, draw, return another Digimon. Now they all have Rush.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like
And
that's like. Would you say that's your bread and butter combo that you're doing,
uh,
or just
I
one
would
of
I
the
would say
many?
that's one of the many.
Uh-huh.
I'm a lot of the bread and butter combo is you're trying to rush them for further security.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it is just trying to make sure that you can keep a board presence.
Mm-hmm.
Say that you're here, you have Garudamon X, you have Phoenixmon, right? You've played when Digivolving, um, played out a Sora, and right now you're starting at 3 or whatever, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have this going. You can Digivolve for 0, blitz. When Digivolve or you blitz, then end of attack, you're trashing your security. At that point, hopefully they're at down to security, so you're getting down to their last security. You can play out just about anything. With the Sora, you can play out 11k or less, so you can be playing any of these, any of your level 5s, any of your Biomons if you have a Christie.
Because then Biomon can warp.
Can warp. Yeah, Biomon can then warp if the Christie's already in line. You can play the Christie from that. Play the Biomon. Because you're still, these all happen, resolve at the same time. You can grant this on deletion, play a Biomon, which then you warp this, boop, play it again. Now this has on deletion, play a Biomon.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's great. That's actually so insane.
Yeah, just from stupid stuff like that. Not to mention that you can also Digivolve, boop, trigger, play out whatever you want. It's the combos for it. It's literally just make sure that you have something in trash. So you're trying to fill up your trash as much as possible, and then enter the board as best as you can while swinging. Which hopefully you're swinging a lot.
Yeah, I mean with combos like that, it looks like you'll probably be swinging a lot. That's pretty wild. Yeah, this deck is basically a purple deck, but
it 100%.
But it's red.
It's red.
this deck is literally a purple deck with all the on deletions and stuff. That's so cool that red has a deck like that. I think that's interesting that they're kind of mixing the play styles. But that's pretty awesome, man. I mean, what do you think of? Let me ask you this: what do you think of the Birds deck in the format? Like, where would you personally rate it? Like in terms of the meta and like your best matchups, worst matchups. I know you already kind of spoke on it a little bit earlier, but I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah. So I would say that anything that doesn't let you resolve your own deletions is gonna give you a hard time. So Imperial Dream bounces. It makes it really hard for you to answer because it doesn't. If you Digivolve by an effect or if you play by an effect, it then gets to go into the fighter mode. Grand Kuwaga if it's bottom decking. Mirage is really hard. Anything that's blue gives it a hard time. Magnamon is tricky. Magnamon, you can outrush it and put so much pressure on the board and swing so frequently that they can't keep up with your blockers. You can threaten with a Birdramon and threaten with a Garudamon Ace to delete the blocker, but then they just go into another one, so you don't know if it's worth it. Sometimes it's just better to block. They're in the format against Numemon, it does pretty well. Against Red Hybrid, it's a toss up.
It's just a matter of rushing down.
It's a matter of rushing down. Yeah. I say that I believe in it. I think it's a tier 1.5.
You made me believe in it. And hey, man, results show for itself. If you can win an Evo Cup and get good placements, I mean, that shows in itself. So
yeah, it's definitely a deck that if you learn it, it will reward you. It's a lot of fun to play. On my end, maybe not so much whenever you're resolving all your effects.
No, man, it's fun to play against because I'm sitting here bewildered about what you're doing because you're just popping off, and it's like the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, but I would say against it does really well against all the yellow decks because they delete your stuff, so you have to you get a chance to go there. if they get their Patamon crap where they go into their rapids for free and then go into whatever they need to go into really fast, and there's not much you can do. But against yellow, because you're constantly threatening their security, you give them less resources, so it puts you in the driver's seat pretty well.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, I feel like yellow's just like a slow color in general, but
Yeah,
yeah, man.
definitely it does pretty well. I really enjoy it. I believe in it. I think it's one of the sleeper picks, and people that have never played against it, because people aren't really playing it that much, they're always caught by surprise. I think in the last regional, Wong Zero said that he ran into a Birds player like in his second to last game, and it was 9 rounds, and he ran into it in his seventh round. So someone out there went 7 rounds undefeated.
Yeah, someone's repping the Birds, man.
Someone out there went 7 rounds undefeated, and I went, all right, look, that's all the belief I need. It might have not top 16, but someone out there is repping. There are some sleeper builds going around. Everyone's out there cooking with it, making some fun stuff with it. So who knows?
Yeah, man. And maybe with this deck profile, there'll be more bird players out there. But hey, man, thanks for your time. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to show off your list to everybody, and exposing the sauce. Maybe we'll get some more birds players out there in the community. But till next time, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.